Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, YouTube viewers and listeners out there, wherever you are. Not sure, where you are, but just pray that everyone is well in their marriages and just in life, period. But just remember that we have a Savior, Jesus Christ, who we can turn to for whatever reason. Whatever we're going through, He's right there. He's sovereign. He's omnipresent. So if you're going through issues in your marriage that, you feel like you can't get any help, He's the help, right? He's the ultimate bride. Well, I'm sorry, the church is His ultimate bride. You're in the church. You are the church. So you could reach out to Him. But anyway, have you ever been in an argument? And this is a rhetorical question because I know we all have arguments, right, in your marriage. And you feel like, how can I, get my spouse to, well, let me put it this way. Whose responsibility is it to be responsible for what comes out of their mouth? Think about that. Whose responsibility it is for taking the responsibility for what comes out of their mouth? Think about that and watch this clip. It's going to change your mindset and how you, approach your spouse, how you, resolve the conflict when your spouse says something to you or you say something to your spouse. How do you say, what do you say to resolve it? This is going to really blow your mind when you listen and think about it, all right? I'm going to come back at the end of the video. Bless up.
Things like, why do you always take so long? Now we're going to be late again. You always make us look so bad. And you find yourself thinking, why does he have to be so negative all the time? I want you to know that there's something you can do to change this pattern. I know that when you're on the receiving end of criticism, it can feel like there's only one solution. Your husband needs to change. And if he won't, then you're stuck. So the good news is that's not true. I am Lindsay. This is Loving with Intention. Let's dive in so I can give you the exact steps that you can take to change this pattern. So for this video, we're just going to stick with that one example of your husband saying that you're making you guys late again. But the response that I'm sharing that you can give to change the critical dance is going to apply to all kinds of criticism. Criticism often starts with the word why, or it includes the words you always or you never. Criticism attacks your character. So you're so lazy, you're so argumentative, you're so emotional. So that's sort of highlighting criticism. And as always, my content does not apply to abusive or unsafe relationships. So before we get into exactly what you can say to change this dynamic, I want to say right out the gates, I know that it is not easy to go first. I feel like I'm very handsy today. I know, my goodness, to be the one to change a pattern, especially if it's a pattern that starts with him being critical, it's not easy. When I'm working with women, I literally come back to this over and over again. It is not easy going first. It can feel like he's the one being a jerk. Why do I have to do the work? I like to give my brain like a little flipperoo and be like, not why do I have to do the work, but I get to do the work. I get to choose to get intentional, to change the dance, to create a happier relationship. Because the truth is that both partners bring unhealthy patterns into every relationship. There are unhealthy patterns that you have that he doesn't have and vice versa. So this gets to be a choice. This gets to be a commitment. And I am not saying that you have to do this. Of course, there are other options. You could do nothing and things probably won't change, or they might get worse, or you could choose to end the relationship. There are other options. What I'm sharing today is the option that you can take when you really want things to get better and you're willing to try something new with consistency. And it's not easy. And I know that. It can actually feel easier sometimes to just stay where you're at and keep doing the same old thing because it feels comfortable, even if it doesn't feel good. This choice to change takes intention. So criticism, it's one of the Gottmans 4 Horsemen, which is one of 4 communication patterns that predict relationship breakdown. And what often happens when we're criticized is that we fire back with another one of the Horsemen. So we give criticism back, or we get defensive, we stonewall or shut down, or we show contempt. So your husband says, why do you always take so long? Now we're going to be late. You always make us look bad. You might criticize. I'm always late. Must be nice to have time to get ready because you never do anything around here. Or you might defend. I do not make us late all the time. We were on time last week. I've been so busy this afternoon. I haven't had time to get ready. Or you might shut down or stonewall. You just go completely silent. Or you might show contempt. You might roll your eyes and tell me such a jerk. This is a super common dynamic. And what usually happens next is, it's usually more horsemen. It's a cycle. a negative cycle, a downward spiral. And if you think about it now, this cycle that the two of you get in, it actually doesn't matter who started it or what it's about. Your cycle tends to look the same no matter what it is. You take the same roles. So maybe he criticizes, you defend, he criticizes more, you shut down. Or he criticizes, you shut down right away, he keeps pushing, and you just completely pull away. There are a few different combos that could make up someone's cycle. And if you're in a relationship long enough, you will have a repetitive cycle. When I'm working with clients very early on in our work together in the love journey process, we actually map out this cycle. Mapping out the cycle means you get to know what's under the surface, which means that you can break it, which is amazing. So rest assured, if you can relate to a negative cycle of that back and forth of Horsemen, you are not alone, and I have got you, because this is where you changing the dance comes in. Your husband doesn't even need to know what the heck a repetitive cycle is. So just imagine this. Imagine he just criticized you with that you're making us late thing, and you didn't jump into the cycle. You didn't choose your usual response of criticism, defensiveness, shutting down, contempt. Just by pausing here, you're already changing things. You pause, you take 3 deep breaths, give some love to that sweet, sweet nervous system, and then when it comes to criticism, your new response is to take responsibility. I can just imagine, like, wait, what? Take responsibility? Those were my thoughts too when I learned that this is how you can change the dance if your partner is critical. I'm like, why in the world would I want to encourage a woman to take responsibility when her husband is being critical? That sounds awful. That sounds like I'm saying, be a pushover, accept crappy behavior, let him walk all over you. And then I dug deeper. The research from the Gottman Institute shows that this is truly the way to break a critical pattern, to stay out of that downward spiral, that cycle. The truth is, if your husband says, why do you always take so long? Now we're going to be late again. You always make us look bad. He is being critical. That's not okay. And criticism is an unhealthy strategy to get a beautiful, valid need met. We all use unhealthy strategies to get our needs met. Maybe you don't criticize in your relationship, but you will have your own unhealthy strategies you use. So taking responsibility, this new response, it might sound like, you're right. I totally didn't start getting ready early enough. I know you hate being late. I'm sorry. Taking responsibility does not mean taking responsibility for everything, like you're not owning that piece of you make us look so bad in front of our friends. It means looking for the truth in what he's sharing and getting curious about what's underneath his harsh words. In this moment, you are choosing to de-escalate the situation and prevent a downward spiral. If he's being critical and he's upset about being late, his nervous system is likely activated. And when you hear his criticism, likely yours is activated, which means de-escalation, regulation is the very best goal in this moment. When our nervous systems are activated, we say and think things that we wouldn't normally say or think when we're regulated and calm. You choosing to de-escalate versus jumping into your own unhealthy patterns, this is changing the dance. Does this guarantee a perfect response from him? Nope, absolutely not. But you are far more likely to hear an apology in the moment or later when you take responsibility and validate his frustrations. You are far more likely to be able to reconnect. You are far more likely not to get into the negative cycle if you choose this kind of response. So then what? Are you just supposed to carry on like everything is perfect? Like it was all your fault? Like you do make you guys look bad in front of all your friends? Absolutely not. But if you address your hurt feelings or tell him that speaking to you like that isn't okay, if you do that in this heated moment, because of your nervous system states, he's really not likely to hear you. Like really hear you, truly get you. When we are activated, so much goes on. Some of those things are losing touch with empathy, compassion, understanding, being able to see 2 different perspectives. We're not in a state to connect because our nervous system is trying to keep us safe from a threat. Just imagine you're out for a walk and suddenly a bear approaches you. Your nervous system is going to be activated, but then one of your friends pulls up in their cars right beside you and they tell you that you hurt their feelings last week. You wouldn't be like, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I can totally see why you'd be upset. You, instead, would be completely focused on trying to stay alive. To the person in the car, you would actually look like you don't care about their feelings at all. So fortunately, our nervous systems are really good at keeping us safe and alive. Unfortunately, our nervous systems don't know the difference between a bear approaching you or you telling your husband that what he said wasn't okay. If he's activated because he's got a trigger around being late, which that's a whole nother story, it may have nothing to do with you, he's not going to hear you in this moment. That's why de-escalation is the goal in the moment, and why bringing up your feelings outside of the moment is far more impactful for both of you. When we are regulated, calm, and connected, we have the capacity to hear feelings. A great way to approach when you come back after this conversation, when you're feeling connected, would be something like, I love you, and I totally know how important it is for you to be on time. I messed up by not getting ready earlier. So you're taking that personal responsibility. And then you're adding, and I would love if next time you're upset with me, if you could tell me in a different way. If you just let me know something like, I'm not okay with this, that would feel so much better. I want to shut down when I feel blamed like that, and I'll work on being on time too. So this is encompassing so many things. You're taking responsibility, you're giving him love, you're showing that you're there to connect, you're holding your boundaries, you're painting the dream of what you would love. So many beautiful things.
So there you go. There you have it. So after watching this clip and you're giving it some thought, who do you think is responsible for being responsible? That sounds weird, right? But think about it. Who is responsible for being responsible? You're being criticized by your spouse. Is it your spouse who is responsible, or you? To squash it, to find a way how to, kill that fire, to put that fire out. Of course, your spouse should not come at you in a negative way ever. But we all have weaknesses, right? You have a weakness too. I'm sure you go to your spouse in a negative way and criticize too. But the bigger picture is you can do something that you see in this video that you just watched to change the trajectory of the fight, the fire, whatever it is you call it, in that argument or you being criticized. And that's a great way to do it. So try to apply that. Try not to let pride or ego or whatever it is stop you from doing your part that will most likely give peace, joy, love, and harmony in the marriage. And that's what it's all about. All right, guys. So I hope this encourages you. God bless you. I pray, Michelle and I pray for marriages. We have a passion to see marriages grow a lifetime, because that's what God created marriages to be. So challenges come, and I think God allowed the challenges so that you could work together and work through it, and you grow in it and learn. So don't give up. Apply this and share this video, and most importantly, because there are many out there who are not even thinking about what this lady just said, right? It works. If it doesn't work all the time, it works most of the time, all right? I like the part that she says, at a later time when things are well, when you're good with each other, then you could express your feelings, but not at the time when it's a fiery situation. All right? Give up your right for peace sake. Turn the other cheek, all that stuff that God is telling us in His Word. He's wise. He knows why He says that. So I hope you guys can do this. I hope you can apply this in your situations. And, comment, let me know what you think, because it's important to know how you feel about this for us in marriage in a minute. All right? So share this video also with other couples. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Marriage in a Minute. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, all right? Just know that we're praying for all marriages to be in the image of Christ. God bless you. Catch you in the next video.